Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star Part 240 based on novel. So let's start. In the territory that the prince controlled, the Undying Warriors and Sector Lord Warriors were distributed everywhere, searching for Luo Feng. As a result, even though the prince had ordered them to encircle and suppress Luo Feng, it would take a long time for all the warriors to gather and arrive. Got to get out of here, thought Luo Feng. The army might be scattered among many places. They are probably trying to encircle me, but it might take them a long time to get here. I might still get away if I hurry. Luo Feng cast Shi Wu Wing and started to fly rapidly, becoming a streak of silver light. I must take advantage of the time and get as far from them as possible, he said under his breath. I must not allow myself to be encircled. Otherwise, I'll be doomed. A great number of indigenous warriors gathered from all directions while Luo Feng tried to escape from their dragnet. On the second day, Luo Feng ran into 3 indigenous warriors consecutively. 2 of them were Undying Warriors while 1 was a Sector Lord. Luo Feng's spiritual force entered that Sector Lord warrior, but all Luo Feng discovered there was a crystal. An energy life, he realized. Like Mosha body. Soul attack is useless on them. Luo Feng glanced at the indigenous Sector Lord warrior, knowing he wasn't able to manipulate him. He didn't want to waste time killing him, so he shook his wings and flew away. The indigenous Sector Lord warrior was perplexed. He didn't kill me. He immediately reported it through the virtual world. I found the intruder. I found the fighter from another race. On the second day, Luo Feng encountered 3 indigenous warriors. On the third day, 12. On the fourth day, 21. On the fifth day, he encountered 52 indigenous warriors. As time passed by, the scattered indigenous warriors were continuously gathering, giving Luo Feng a stronger and stronger sense of crisis. But he couldn't do anything about it, the enemies knew his whereabouts. But on the 6th day, something strange happened. He only ran into 1 indigenous warrior. The same thing happened on the 7th day and all the way up to the 12th day. Something's wrong, Luo Feng said. The natives had been tracking me for the past couple of days. They were encircling and suppressing me. The other day, 11 Undying fighters tried to team up and kill me. Why have they all disappeared now? Luo Feng sensed a storm coming. He was caught like a rat in a trap. Things were serious this time. In the sky above the mountain valley, the noble and elegant prince and his 2 Universe Knight servants stood in the sky. I didn't expect that foreign Undying fighter to be so good at escaping, the prince said, smiling. The Undying fighters from my race can't even catch him. It seems we need to treat him like a Universe Knight. Your Highness, the dragnet is almost complete, the thin Universe Knight said respectfully. The 9 generals are all in place and awaiting your orders. Soon the army will capture him. That intruder has no chance to run away. Don't rush. I'll go there first. The prince smiled. I'm curious about this powerful Undying fighter. It'll be a pity to let the generals kill him. I'll do it myself. Yes, Your Highness, the 2 Universe Knights answered with respect. Go, the prince ordered. They flew directly to the dragnet circle. Even the superior prince didn't have any Universe Knights to serve him. 9 generals were the extent of his influence. Fortunately, it was safe for him in 9 remoteness space. Thus, he could send all the generals there. The native warriors must be preparing to besiege me, said Luo Feng. He stood at the edge of a swamp and frowned. There are probably multiple waves of them. Even if I manage to break through the first wave, the rest of the warriors will draw closer to me. There might even be some teams led by Universe Knights. Luo Feng had seen indigenous Universe Knight warriors before. Even Bark Mirror Emperor would have to run from them. I'll be doomed if I run into a native warrior at the Universe Knight level. Luo Feng frowned. Execute the body plan. Su. 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 9 figures showed up around Luo Feng. All of them were from other races. "Master of Master," they said in unison, saluting Luo Feng. "Turn into me," Luo Feng ordered. "Yes, Master." All the undying slaves had different forms of godly bodies, and all of them transformed their shapes into that of Luo Feng. The only difference was their auras. Undying fighters could transform their shapes, although, if they were too large, their strength would be undermined. But that didn't matter to Luo Feng. As for different auras, only a few of the indigenous fighters had seen Luo Feng, and it was almost impossible for the entire army to recognize him. "Follow my lead," Luo Feng ordered. "You're number 1, and you're number 2. You two will move first." With that, Luo Feng initiated his plan. His slaves also had slaves, especially ordinary undying fighters, and official level 1s. Luo Feng didn't mind losing 9 of them if that was what it took to get out of here. Yes, slave number 1 and slave number 2 followed, flying away. Luo Feng's plan depended on the 9 decoys luring the indigenous warriors to change their plan. Just as he was executing his plan, he received a message from the world of glory. The message was simple: True Yang Knight is fighting the Northern Territory Alliance. Luo Feng nearly jumped out of his skin. True Yang Knight? My teacher became a Universe Knight? And he's fighting the Northern Territory Alliance? How is my teacher fighting Northern Territory Alliance? Bark Mirror Emperor came to mind. Although Luo Feng was still carrying out his escape plan, it would take him 2 to 3 days to finish that. He spared a bit of his mind to connect to the world of glory. In the open-air square of the world of glory. Again, Luo Feng's appearance drew the attention of the other heirs. He went to where the Hong Alliance was gathered. What happened? Luo Feng sat down and looked at Cha Man Emperor, Li Emperor, and Thousand Rain Emperor. They are fighting. Thousand Rain Emperor said, excited. It's madness. True Yang Knight is impressive. Cha Man Emperor said. His time in seclusion has made him furious. Now that he's finally broke out, is thrilling. Thrilling, indeed, Li Emperor said. Really thrilling. Come on. Tell me what happened. Luo Feng was totally lost. True Yang Emperor became a Universe Knight? And what's his issue with Northern Territory Alliance? They all looked at Luo Feng. Rumor had it that Luo Feng was Blade River Emperor, and if that was true, it was understandable why Blade River Emperor cared about True Yang Knight so much. True Yang Emperor became a Universe Knight around half a month ago, Cha Man Emperor said. After that, he left Bohinia Island. We don't know where he went, but now we presume he went to 9 Remoteness Space. 9 Remoteness Space. Luo Feng's heart missed a beat. Yes, it happened today, Cha Man Emperor said with thrill. True Yang Knight and Bark Mirror Emperor began doing battle on Rock Island. True Yang Emperor defeated Bark Mirror Emperor, Thousand Rain Emperor said. Can you believe that? Bark Mirror Emperor was almost killed. And he survived only by summoning a great being from his Northern Territory Alliance. And his name is Wan Feng Knight. Wan Feng Knight is a sub-member of the Ancestral God School, Li Emperor said. He's powerful. It was him, said Luo Feng. Other than candidate prophets and candidate deified generals, only high achievers on the path of Beast God inheritance, those who had at least completed the 5th level inheritance, were qualified to be sub-members of the Ancestral God School. Shi Luo Duo, who had completed the 6th level inheritance, was a Universe Overlord. Wan Feng Knight, although not yet a Universe Overlord, was pretty close. And then? Luo Feng asked nervously. True Yang Emperor pulled no punches, Cha Man Emperor said excitedly. After almost killing Bark Mirror Emperor, he started to fight Wan Feng Knight. But Wan Feng Knight is a sub-member of the Ancestral God School. True Yang Knight is not his match. He fled from Wan Feng Knight and retreated back to Bohinia Island. He successfully retreated? Luo Feng said, feeling relieved. Yes, Cha Man Emperor said, nodding. When True Yang Knight was still an emperor, he fought with Universe Knights, and he was able to survive. He's good at escaping. I heard that Bark Mirror Emperor is much slower than True Yang Knight and couldn't even get away. If Wan Feng Knight hadn't arrived when he did, Bark Mirror Emperor would have died. Luo Feng was amazed. His teacher was always so low-key. He had been hiding in Primal Chaos City for hundreds of millions of years, stuck at the final step. Little did others expect that he might be even faster than Bark Mirror Emperor after becoming a Universe Knight, as well as being astoundingly aggressive. Luo Feng was happy for his teacher. Impressive, he said. My teacher can resist Bark Mirror Emperor's talent technique. Luo Feng was curious and exhilarated about that fight. He connected to the virtual universe and got in touch with his teacher. In an exclusive area in the virtual universe. Each Universe Knight of the human race was granted a section of space. This one was a floating golden mountain. The apex of the golden mountain was covered with ice and snow. Flames burned beneath the mountain, while in the middle lived countless black plants. They managed to grow tenaciously despite being constantly burned. Luo Feng showed up, smiled, and shouted, "Teacher!" True Yang Knight was sitting in his palace and drinking while wearing golden armor. "Ha ha! Come here, my disciple," True Yang Knight called to Luo Feng. "Drink with me. I'm so joyful. So joyful." Luo Feng walked to his teacher without saying anything. "Disciple, do you know why I'm so joyful?" True Yang Knight looked at Luo Feng. "Why?" Luo Feng asked. "Is it because of your recent battle? I expected to beat Bark Mirror Emperor easily, yet I was severely injured by that Wan Feng Knight. 54% of my godly body was gone. Why would I be joyful of that?" True Yang Knight gritted his teeth. Luo Feng was curious. "Then why are you so joyful, teacher?" "Windfall." True Yang Knight took the wine and drank 3 glasses of it. He then looked at Luo Feng with sparkling eyes. "You know, I'm kind of lucky, too. Although my luck is nothing compared to yours, it's still fairly good." "Teacher, you got a valuable?" Luo Feng asked. "Wrong." True Yang Knight shook his head. "When you become a Universe Knight, unless you make another breakthrough during your practice, getting a valuable is what makes you happiest. However, it's not accurate to say I got a new valuable. I didn't. The reason I'm happy is because the treasure I have turns out to be extraordinary. Although it's not a true treasure, it's definitely a top-tier treasure." Luo Feng smiled. "Congratulations, teacher. I'm indeed happy. I didn't even find it special when I was an undying fighter," True Yang Knight said. "This was the first time I fought after becoming a Universe Knight. Under my new burning godly power, it evolved into a second form. It's definitely a top-tier treasure. If it has a third form, it's qualified as a true treasure." Luo Feng nodded. Shu Wu Wing had 3 forms. Luo Feng couldn't help but ask, "Teacher, what kind of treasure are you talking about?" "Ha ha." True Yang Knight glanced at Luo Feng and continued, "Although I have great techniques, Bark Mirror Emperor is proficient in tracking and inspection, and he has incredible escaping skills. Even though I can suppress him, I can't stop him from running away from me. However, a pair of combat boots I had obtained before changed into their second form, revealing their real power. Those boots I created, the ones with the pinnacle technique, made me much faster," True Yang Knight said. "Even Bark Mirror Emperor couldn't run away from me. I could even escape Wan Feng Knight, who's far stronger than me. My disciple, treasures that can help you flee are precious. Wan Feng Knight is as powerful as Shu Knight. Being able to get away from him means I'm only an average-level Universe Knight, but I'm much better at fleeing. Getting a treasure is indeed delightful. All the more so if you discover that an ordinary treasure you already possess is incredibly powerful." Luo Feng considered these words. Even a dusty old treasure might still shine someday. True Yang had also, finally, seized his opportunity to shine. After many long years, he now stood among the great beings of the universe. "Teacher," said Luo Feng, "you said you're only at the average level. How did you crush Bark Mirror Emperor? I've heard that lots of Universe Knights are afraid of him. Bark Mirror Emperor isn't that powerful himself, True Yang Knight explained. It's his talent techniques that make him strong. You should know, an ordinary Universe Knight has a godly body 100 times stronger than an Emperor limit. Yes, I do. Luo Feng nodded. Even the most average Universe Knights have godly bodies 10 million times stronger than Sector Lords, True Yang Knight continued. Every Universe Knight will try to improve their life level. Generally, they can improve it several times. As for me, I've already improved mine 10 times. After I became a Universe Knight, my godly body became 100 million times that of a Sector Lord. Bark Mirror Emperor's godly body is 2,000 times stronger than that of an average Emperor limit, which means his godly body is only twice as powerful as mine. Luo Feng nodded. That gap was not excessively large. His godly body, together with his defending true treasures, is what gives him the leverage to rival ordinary Universe Knights. Unfortunately for him, his attacking skills are mediocre, and his godly body is only twice as powerful as mine. Besides, his law comprehension is worse than Universe Knights, and his techniques are weaker than most Universe Knights. That's why he has such mediocre attacking skills. He can only resort to his talent techniques. His talent techniques are indeed mighty, True Yang Knight went on. Fortunately, I'm on the warrior path. I've been studying soul defense technique, knowing that warriors are most vulnerable to soul attacks like illusions. I already had strong soul defense when I roamed the universe before, and it's already a pinnacle technique. During my hundreds of millions of years in Chaos City, I spent much of my time and energy creating techniques because I knew I couldn't have a key breakthrough in law comprehension. Though I'm not as talented as you, I created 3 pinnacle techniques after hundreds of millions of years of practice. The most useful and powerful one is soul defense technique. It's still a pinnacle technique, but it's 10 times sturdier than the original one. True Yang Knight smiled and added, my burning godly power, my soul defense technique, and my will, after being polished for hundreds of millions of years, give me the confidence to resist that soul attack. After all, Bark Mirror Emperor has never killed a Universe Knight up until now. Luo Feng nodded. Chu Chong Emperor had killed Universe Knights before, but Bark Mirror Emperor hadn't. I can withstand his talent technique attack. True Yang Knight grinned. After that, he'll be crushed. On Bohinia Island. In Bark Mirror Emperor's palace. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Bark Mirror Emperor roared. His voice echoed through his palace. No one outside could hear it. Hatefulness filled his heart. Damn you, True Yang! Bark Mirror Emperor clenched his teeth. I remember you, now. You dared attack me. You dared attack the great special organism. You're seeking death. When I become a Universe Knight, I'll crush you like a bug. Impressive, though, that you could withstand my talent technique. And that staff technique is terrifying. Bark Mirror Emperor shuddered as he recalled what had happened. True Yang had almost killed him with the black staff. If I didn't have my true treasures. And if Wan Feng hadn't arrived in time. Bark Mirror Emperor shivered at the thought. Although his protecting true treasure was mighty, True Yang Knight was apparently more advanced at law comprehension, and the staff technique was exceptional. Even though the protecting real treasure was significantly weakened, his godly body still deteriorated. Bark Mirror Emperor was full of resentment, seething with insanity. He had never been so close to death before. The more he thought about it, the more he hated that human. Just you wait, he muttered. Someday, I'll become a Universe Knight. Just you wait. In the world of 9 remoteness space. Luo Feng's mind had just come back from the virtual universe. Rumor has it a Universe Knight turned from an invincible emperor is more powerful than ordinary Universe Knights. Luo Feng nodded. That rumor, it seems, is far from baseless. Practice makes perfect. My teacher is an invincible emperor already, and after practicing for an eternity, his techniques are constantly being refined. Now that he's made his breakthrough, he's magnificent. Luo Feng smiled. Mosha body had finally reached the world trees. As long as I get a leaf from the world tree, muttered Luo Feng, I can breed my third body. Then I'll become undying. You dare to rob me, Bark Mirror Emperor? I shall kill you after I become undying. Luo Feng had extra confidence in himself. Once he became undying, his targets would be several universe knights, and some unique organisms like Zhuchong Emperor. As for Bark Mirror Emperor, he'd kill him directly. This shot determines whether or not I can get a leaf from the world tree. Luo Feng considered his future for a moment. He concentrated on his Mosha body. On Tree Island in 9 remoteness space. Beautiful plants covered the serene landscape of Tree Island. Seeds floated through the air. Mosha body's seed cluster landed on the ground beside the sector lord level world tree. Arrived, Mosha body said. This is it. He had been looking forward to this for a long time. Through the tiny filaments of the seed cluster, he could see everything in the front of him. The world tree towered over him, each of its leaves like emerald jades. Halos surrounded the crown and the trunk. Meanwhile, in the cave of Rock Island, a pinnacle emperor slave with a flame origin crystal teleported himself 3 times. Su! 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 After the second teleportation, he arrived in the sky of the ocean. After the third, he arrived at the center of Tree Island, the domain of world trees. He arrived in the crown of the sector lord level world tree nearest to Mosha body, around 300,000 miles away. Explode! The pinnacle emperor slave threw the flame origin crystal, then promptly teleported again, moving 600,000 miles away. He arrived under a huge tree canopy. He started to attack the sector lord level world tree. The flame origin crystal exploded. This flame origin crystal was more powerful than the one that had exploded last time, and at a close enough range to kill a low emperor. And this was already a relatively weaker flame god crystal. In the aftermath of the explosion, everything close to the crystal was annihilated. In the distance, a plethora of twigs were blasted away like arrows, and the shredded leaves shot out in all angles, carried by the shockwave of the blast. Twigs of world trees, said the pinnacle emperor slave as it grabbed a twig 1,000 feet thick. Break! The emperor slave tried to snap the twig. The sector lord world tree started to roar furiously. Its entire canopy trembled. Its twigs and leaves slashed at the pinnacle emperor slave. Damn other races, it roared. You dare to hurt me again. Die? Die? Last time, the most powerful world tree had intervened, but it was not the case this time. Apparently, he wanted his child to suffer losses and learn some lessons. Besides, his godly power already surrounded the trunk of the sector lord level world tree, which guaranteed his child's survival. In that case, he would rather his child fight for itself and gain some experience. The pinnacle emperor slave burned its godly power like a star. The mighty, burning, godly power deterred all the twigs and leaves around him. With a crisp snap, like a jade being broken, a twig with a diameter of more than 1,000 feet was cut off by the pinnacle emperor slave. Go! The pinnacle emperor slave was ready to teleport and leave. Following Luo Feng's order, he had thrown a flame origin crystal. With his burning pinnacle emperor undying body, he had easily cut off a branch of that world tree. Then he'd grabbed a twig and fled. Halt! The most powerful world tree, observing from a distance, intervened. An invisible force penetrated the pinnacle emperor slave holding the offshoot. He trembled violently, then turned to dust that floated away on the breeze. Dead. Barely half a second had passed between from the appearance of the pinnacle emperor slave and its death. He was still killed, Mosha body thought from within the seed cluster. I assumed the pinnacle emperor slave throwing the flame god crystal would draw the universe night world tree's attention. I knew it would kill him. I just didn't expect it to give him a chance to break a twig first. Mosha body was perplexed. The most powerful world tree could have easily killed the slave the moment it detected him. Instead, it had waited. Luo Feng didn't know what was going on between these world trees. Countless broken twigs and leaves had been blasted into the sky and scattered everywhere. The shockwave caused some plant seeds to fly around, and some of the twigs and leaves fell to where Moshe Body's seed cluster lay. It's coming. Moshe Body was expecting this, but he didn't dare react. Instead, he allowed himself to float along with the shockwave like an ordinary seed cluster. There was only one leaf on one of the broken twigs, and it came toward Moshe Body. This is the moment, he realized. Go! Moshe Body hit a twig. Zoom! Silently, he teleported 50 light-years away, instantly leaving 9 remoteness space. At the center of Tree Island, within the domain of World Trees, the Sector Lord World Tree was trembling and roaring. Me? It was me again. Why? Damn it! Ha ha, poor Seven, taunted its siblings. Seven, you told me to stay out of this, said its father. But if I had, your attacker would have gotten away. I told you to stay out of this, snarled the Sector Lord World Tree. I'd rather my twigs be stolen. Why did you meddle, father? Don't kid yourself, echoed the gentle voice of the strongest World Tree. He can breed a life tree with that offshoot. I won't let another race steal a World Tree offshoot. Humph. The Sector Lord World Tree started to recover, and the broken leaves and twigs were flying back to its crown. It didn't even realize that a small twig was gone. The most powerful World Tree sensed this with its dominance over the time and space, but by the time it realized what had happened, Moshe Body had already escaped 9 remoteness space. It wasn't strange for the Sector Lord level World Tree not to realize its missing twig. There were fundamental differences between Sector Lords and Undying Fighters. Once the tree became undying, each leaf would merge into its soul imprint, meaning it could distinctly sense them. However, for Sector Lord World Trees, they were still, in a way, mostly botanical. This one had no life imprint on any of its leaves. It couldn't feel them at all. The same rule applied to humans. If a human Undying Fighter lost his arm, and it was taken tens of light years away, he could sense the arm's location. This was not the case for Sector Lords. With so much of its surroundings in ruins after the explosion, the Sector Lord World Tree had no way of knowing that one of its twigs had been taken away. Teleportation? Thought the most powerful World Tree. Universe Night level teleportation? He concealed his aura so well that even I didn't notice it. It must be his talent technique. A Universe Knight who knows how to change his aura only stole a twig. The most powerful World Tree was perplexed, but it didn't dig into it, as its child losing a leaf was like a human losing some dandruff. In the space outside 9 remoteness space, Luo Feng appeared dressed in black, holding the emerald leaf. Ha ha! Finally, I've got it. He stared at the leaf on his hand and was extremely enlivened. My third body. If I'm lucky, I can breed a World Tree body with it. It'll be planted in my god country, which will be stabilized and strengthened by it. Given its size, it will be larger than the godly body of Teachers Washanku and Teacher Primal Chaos City Leader. Even if my other body's godly power was exhausted, they could be supplemented by the World Tree body. Godly power in the Law Ocean was the purest, and once it merged with a life imprint, it was godly power with a master. His original Earthling body, Moshe Body, Golden Horned Beast body, and the World Tree body would all be assembled by Luo Feng's soul imprint. Even if the Golden Horned Beast body lost 80% of its godly body, it could draw from the World Tree body, as 80% of a Golden Horned Beast was less than 1/10,000 of that of a World Tree. It can manipulate time and space too. If I can make it. He grew nervous. Emerald light flashed through the area, and an ordinary Undying servant walked out of the light. This slave had been sent by Golden Horned Beast in the primal secret region. Master of my master. The slave saluted Moshe Body. Go. Moshe Body took the slave and cast God Country Transportation. He used that slave as the center of God Country Transportation and arrived at the primal secret region. In the towering palace of the primal secret region, Chen Chen Emperor stood in the palace, waiting. When Chen Chen Emperor saw Moshe Body and the Undying slave walking out of the emerald light, he bowed. Master. Moshe Body nodded, but he couldn't concern himself with anything else at the moment. He commanded, from now on, Nobody is allowed in my palace. Yes, master, Tian Chen Emperor said reverently. Moshe body disappeared. In the core of his internal world, Golden Horned Beast body and Moshe body stood on a boundless plain. Golden Horned Beast's mountainous head was drooping to look at the world tree's leaf which Moshe body carried. The final obstacle, Moshe body muttered. There's a limit to my internal world breeding, and it's almost 100 times the life level of Golden Horned Beasts. The world tree barely falls within the limit of my internal world breeding. Will I succeed? Or fail? He was nervous. After so much effort and suffering, and with his original earthling body trapped in the 9 remoteness world, Luo Feng didn't regret everything he had gone through, as long as he could have the third body. After all, it was difficult for him to have a powerful body suitable for him. One last plunge. Luo Feng's eyes were bloodshot. He had never felt so anxious before. All his 3 bodies were looking forward to the result that determined their fate. Zoom! A green light flew up in the sky, shining like an aurora. Both Moshe body and Golden Horned Beast body looked up. That leaf of the world tree flew higher and higher. The internal world had a diameter of more than 60 million miles, and the leaf didn't stop until it flew to the very core of the internal world. Talent technique, clone, Luo Feng gave an order through his mind. He had 3 clone opportunities. 1 bred the Earthling original body, 1 bred Moshe body, and this was the final one. The entire internal world trembled, and endless world energies began to gather. All of a sudden, his internal world seemed to have met with the apocalypse. Meanwhile, a colossal golden sphere showed up in the sky. The critical moment. Moshe body, Golden Horned Beast body, and Luo Feng, trapped in 9 remoteness world, were all high-strung. Peng! The golden sphere trembled, which frightened Luo Feng and his bodies. The golden sphere trembled again. It was as if flame god crystals were exploding inside. The golden sphere reverberated with incessant, powerful blasts. Luo Feng could feel the great pressure from the world tree's life imprint inside the golden sphere, and his internal world found it difficult to withstand it. Bang! Cracks appeared on that golden sphere. More of them gradually came into view. No! Luo Feng was shaken with fright. After one last quiver, the golden sphere exploded, turning into scattered world energies. The leaf of the world tree was annihilated. Luo Feng and the Golden Horned Beast watched quietly. In the aftermath of the explosion, the internal world was silent. In 9 remoteness world, Luo Feng's heart skipped a beat. He clenched his fist as bitterness flashed in his eyes. The breeding had failed. This video will end here.